Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Jivaswadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Nitai Gaura Hare Bol. Gaura Premanandi. Jayavom Vishnupadaya Paramahamsa Parivaracharya Astodara Abhayacharana Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Founder-Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri 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 Jagannatha Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Shri 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 Gauranita ki jai. Shri 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 Radha Vallabha Bhagavani ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 6th canto, 15th chapter, titled Narada and Angira Instruct King Chitraketu. Text number 4. Yata daneshu vaidana. Yata daneshu vaidana. bhavanti na bhavanti cha, bhavanti na bhavanti cha, evam bhutani bhuteshu, evam bhutani bhuteshu, choditani samayaya, choditani samayaya, yata daneshu vaidana, yata daneshu vaidana, bhavanti na bhavanti cha, bhavanti na bhavanti cha, evam bhutani bhuteshu, evam bhutani bhuteshu, choditani samayaya, choditani samayaya, choditani samayaya, bhavanti na bhavanti cha, evam bhutani bhuteshu, choditani samayaya, yata daneshu vaidana, bhavanti na bhavanti cha, evam bhutani bhuteshu, choditani samayaya, yata daneshu vaidana, bhavanti na bhavanti cha, evam bhutani bhuteshu, choditani samayaya. Mataji's. Yata daneshu vaidana, bhavanti na bhavanti cha, evam bhutani bhuteshu, choditani samayaya, bhavanti na bhavanti cha, evam bhutani bhuteshu, choditani samayaya, yata daneshu vaidana, bhavanti cha, bhavanti na bhavanti cha, evam bhutani bhuteshu, choditani samayaya, yata daneshu vaidana, bhavanti na bhavanti cha, evam bhutani bhuteshu, choditani samayaya, yata daneshu vaidana, bhavante na bhavante cha. Evam bhutani bhuteshu choditani shamayaya. Word for word translation. Yatha, just as, dhanashu, through weeds of paddy. Why? Indeed, dhanaha, grains, bhavanti, are generated. Na, not. Bhavanti, are generated. Cha, also. Evam, in this way. Bhutani, the living entities. Bhuteshu, in other living entities. Chodidani, impelled. Isha Mayaya, by the potency or power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. When seeds are grown in the ground, they sometimes grow into plants and sometimes do not. Sometimes the ground is not fertile and the sowing of the seed is unproductive. Similarly, sometimes a prospective father, being impelled by the potency of the Supreme Lord, can beget a child. But sometimes conception does not take place. Therefore, one should not lament over the artificial relationship of parenthood, which is ultimately controlled by the Supreme Lord. Purport. Maharaj Chitraketu was actually not destined to get a son. Therefore, although he married hundreds and thousands of wives, all of them proved barren, and he could not beget even one child. When Angira Rishi came to see the king requested the great sage to enable him to have at least one son. Because of the blessings of Angira Rishi, a child was sent by the grace of Maya. But the child was not to live for long. Therefore, in the beginning, Angira Rishi told the king that he would beget a child who would cause jubilation and lamentation. King Chitraketu was not destined to get a child by providence or the will of the Supreme, just as sterile grain cannot produce more grain. A fertile person, by the will of the Supreme Lord, cannot beget a child. Sometimes a child is born even to an impotent father and sterile mother, and sometimes a potent father and sterile mother are childless. Indeed, sometimes a child is born despite contraceptive method, and therefore the parents kill the child in the womb. In the present age, killing children in the womb has become a common practice. Why? When contraceptive methods are taken, why don't they act? Why is a child sometimes produced so that the father and mother have to kill in the womb? We must conclude that our arrangement of so-called scientific knowledge cannot determine what will take place. What is enacted actually depends on the supreme will. It is by the supreme will that we are situated in certain conditions in terms of family, community, and personality. These are all arrangements of the Supreme Lord according to our desires under the spell of Maya, illusion. In devotional life, therefore, one should not desire anything, since everything depends on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11. What is that? Anya abhilashita sunyam jnana karmadi anarvitam anukulenya Krishna anusilanam bhaktir uttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord, Krishna, favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through the fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. This is called pure devotional service. One should act only to develop Krishna consciousness. For everything else, one should fully depend upon the Supreme Person. We should not create plans that will ultimately make us frustrated. So that is the bottom line of today's topic. We should not create plans that will ultimately make us frustrated. Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Guruve Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahim Tadatisva Padantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna. So, in this chapter 15, this is a fourth verse. So, what's happening is, Angira Rishi and Narada Muni, both, they visit the palace of Maharaj Chitraketu. The whole palace was lamenting. They were in distress. Why they were in distress? Why the whole area, palace, everyone was crying, lamenting. Why they were in distress? Because they didn't take the breakfast. So they were lamenting. Correct? They were fasting for Janmashtami. No. Lost his only son. Only son. One son. Okay. So he lost his one son. Who lost it? Chitraketu Maharaj lost his one son. For that, the entire palace, the king, the queen, the ministers, the whole citizens, they were crying. So much attached to the king. Such a very good administrator was Chitraketu Maharaj. Everyone was lamenting. Oh, the child is dead. And Chitraketu Maharaj was also next to the dead child, almost like a dead man. So much lamenting, crying. My son is dead, is gone. At that time, Angira Muni and Narada Muni, both of them, they come into the palace. They know that Chitraketu Maharaj was in full distress. And therefore, They want to impart the spiritual knowledge to him. We see also practically in our life also, there should be some amount or a little bit of frustration to happen. Otherwise, it's not easy to take up Krishna. Some frustration, some distress should happen. We don't wish should happen, but that will help us to proceed a little bit further or advance in Krishna consciousness. The same Chitraketu Maharaj, in the previous chapter, when Angira Muni came, he was not reluctant to listen to this advice. Because in his mind, right, the only desire is, I should have a child, I should have a child, I should have a son, I should have a son. That's it. That was what running in his whole mind all the time. I must have a son, I must have a son. So he's not going to listen. So basically, Narada Muni and Angira Muni adopted a trick. Okay, we want to give him a little bit of anxiety, frustration. Then he can take up the spiritual life. So this is what exactly happened. And when they came, he was lamenting, and they're going to instruct. So this is what the verse. Now, who is narrating this verse? Who is talking this verse? When seeds are grown in the ground, they sometimes grow into plants and sometimes do not, and all that. And there, which is ultimately controlled by the Supreme Lord. So who is talking this? Yeah, both of them, Narada Muni and Angira Muni. Might be one of them, but it's not said that. So probably, Angira Muni or maybe Narada Muni too. So Duyo. So they are saying it. So in this verse, as we see, when seeds are grown in the ground, they sometimes grow into plants and sometimes they do not. Similarly, our endeavors in this material world, we do a lot of endeavors. Sometimes we get the results, sometimes we do not get the results, because that's the nature. Yeah? All of us have got this experience, correct? Not every results or not every endeavor will end up in getting the desired results we want. Sometimes we may get, most of the time we may not get. So what happens? When a person, he does not get the desired results, he works hard, put in more effort, and then what happens? He will not get the desired results, and therefore he gets frustrated. Yes? Because he's putting on more effort. This is what happened exactly in the case of Maharaj Chitraketu. Married once, twice, etc., hundreds, thousands, no child. Again, and then one will get frustrated, trying. Putting endeavor for nothing. So, talking about this story, I could relate that to one of our relative in Chennai. This couple was married. They did not have child for a long time. They tried all these methods, all this, nothing happened. They prayed and all that. Karma is like that. Then, what happened? You will not believe. At the age of 50, that Mataji got twins. But the way material energy works is quite different. In fact, last time when I went to India, I had a conversation. I was just thinking, I have to say, Krishna has fulfilled the desire. They were looking at this. They said, we are praying to Sai Baba and all that. Okay, whatever may be. Krishna again, I said, Krishna has fulfilled the desire. Now, are you happy? What was the answer? They did not get child for a long time. Maybe, that lady would have got at the age of 28 or 30, whatever may be. At the age of 50, she got twins, okay? Now, when I asked her, are you happy? What was the question answer I got? Not exactly. So I said, what happened? Why? They said, if the Lord had been kind, He should have given us at before. Like when I was, now I am old, I cannot look after my child properly. Then, what are you doing? I asked. They said, we have kept lot of servants to take care of the child. Can you see how it is going? Okay. So what, because she said, I'm very tired now. I become very tired. I'm okay. So most of the time, the servants are taking care of the child. Look at this. That's the answer I got. I said, okay, that's fine, what can I say? So this is like that. So the material energy always gives you distress or frustrations. They got the child what they wanted, but still not happy. Although they may be happy to some degree, but, I can't take care of my child because I'm tired, I'm old, like that. Okay. This is how it exactly happens. So here it is said that a seed may be potent. Guys, are you listening? Because I may be asking questions, okay? That in that way, I know that you're all listening. Yeah? Yes? Good. Because it's a very good subject, this one. When a seed is potent and when it is sowed into the ground may not be fertile. So it is said that, yes, the plant may come or may not come. We don't. It is said in the purport. Yeah? It did not say first that the ground is fertile or not. Because the seed is there, you put into the ground, it may come, it may not come. Because there is an external factor. What is the factor in addition to that? The seed may be fertile. The seed may be potent. The land may be fertile. We put the seed, but still it may not come. Why? There is an external feed. There is an external factor. Because we need rain, isn't it? Rain or water. And that doesn't belong, and that is not under our control. Beyond our control. So many factors. I'm just giving an example. We're going to discuss about this karma aspect. Yeah? So many aspects are there. Because Krishna himself says how in Bhagavad Gita, the chapter 4, that very, very complex karma, very intricate. We cannot assume, we cannot imagine how it works. So karma is very, very, very intricate and complicated. Okay? So it will not come. So what you do? You put more effort. It doesn't come. You put more effort. And then you realize, I am not in control. Because nothing is working according to my desire. According to the way I wanted. So it's beyond our control. So we note this point. We understand this. So something, our endeavor, whatever we do, it's beyond our control. Okay. Now, a person, on one hand, a person thinks, what is the use of working? Anyway, I may get a result or I may not get for the endeavor I'm putting. So I might as well put in very little effort or no effort at all. I'm not going to work. Does this work? It may work. It may work. If our karma is very, very good, very, very, very good karma, what happens is, if you do not work, yet, but it's very, very rare case, we can't depend on that. For example, many people, they inherit lot of riches from their family members, correct? From their generation, from the family, the riches they accumulated. They are not doing anything. Because they're just born in the family, as a son or a daughter, they get lot of inheritance. But you should have extremely good karma. You cannot depend on this. For example, it is said, Ajamila inherited lot of properties from his family. He did not work. He was not a computer engineer. He was not getting 200K per annum. Yeah? Then how did he get money? He was not doing business. Yes? How did he get money? Inherited from his father, Ajamila. But how did he use the money? By doing devotional service? Being a Brahmana? How did he use his money? Ajamila. We have finished chapter, Canto 6, first chapter, second chapter, yeah, couple of months back. And you were all there. How did Ajamila spend his money? On the prostitute. Illegal activities, drinking and all that, So much money he left, he went, he wasted. So that is a good karma, because he was born as a Brahmana, very good Brahmana. But because the activities, was doing illicit activities and all that, is all gone. Okay? So that is on one hand, you see. Now on the other hand, suppose I say, I am not going to work the whole day. I am going to sit down and wait for my karma, things to happen. Will I get anything? No. No. But you should not come to Hare Krishna temple. Because we'll get prasadam and all that. I'm talking different scenario. You don't work the whole day or 1 week or something. Don't work. Sit down. And things to come. It cannot happen. Because what we learn is karma itself is ineffective. We have to put in some effort. Little bit of effort has to be put in. Then only the karma will manifest. Some effort has to be there, Prabhu. Then only karma will manifest. So, but normally what happens, with this karma, we cannot counteract the karma. Karma is there. Whatever karma we have to go, for example, in the case of Chitraketu, is not destined to have a child. But we cannot counteract this karma. So how do we understand this? Yeah? And why is this karma? Karma comes because of our past, previous activities. Very important point, please note this. Past or previous activities, karma comes in. And how it is stopping us? How do we understand this aspect? Is, say for example, I am planning to get some results, some desired results I want. But I am not able to get it. I am unable to get it. Even in the case of Chitraketu, he wanted a child, but is not able to get it. So what is happening is, the previous activities, what we have done, is preventing the current results now. It is interfering with the results now. For example, if we are suffering because of that karma, now we have created that equal amount of suffering to that same person in the previous births. We have done it. So, it is interfering in this birth, and it is not producing the results as we want, however much we try. Got the point? Because we have inflicted the same amount of pain, suffering to others, and that is why we are suffering. So, what do we learn from here? So, an example we could give, for example, sometimes, people try to take money by illegal means. Some illegal means. And sometimes they harass some family members. All will come back as karma. So that is why we have to be very careful. Earn the money by the right means. Do not create sufferings to others. Don't torture people. You have to be friendly, you have to be kind to people. So that is what we learn. Otherwise, the same suffering is going to come back. Maybe in this life, maybe in the next birth, but it is stored. It's going to come back. So, talking about this karma, I have a friend. When we are studying in the school, I have a friend. We are close. And what we do is, for the exam, we prepare notes, both of us. Yeah? Same notes. We take a lot of time to prepare the notes. And at the exam, obviously, his marks will be very low when compared to mine. The reason is, his karma is such that just at the time, he studies, put in very, very hard work. Okay, he studies completely, too much effort. And then what happens, at the time of writing the exam, he forgets everything. He's in a bewildered state, confused state. So in the exam, he doesn't write properly. So he ends up always getting less marks. That is his karma. What can he do? We don't know what karma is. Just a simple thing. We don't know what karma is done. So he's able to forget all the things. Whatever he has to remember at the time of need, he forgets that. That's his karma. So karma acts in very many ways. Okay? So this karma is self-created. We create our karma. It is not created by others. We create our own karma. And as long as we do not learn our mistakes, our activities, and if we do not correct it, what will happen? We will suffer in this birth. We will suffer in the next birth. And in the next birth, we'll do more sinful activities. Then the future births will be worst. More suffering, more frustrations. See, our own actions are causing reaction, and it is stopping the results in this birth and in the future births also, and lot of sufferings. Because of suffering, one will get frustrated. Imagine, a person has got only suffering. How will he feel? Frustrated. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. One will get frustrated. So, what do we do now? So one thinks, why am I suffering? My own activities are creating me problem. I'm struggling, I'm suffering, I'm getting frustrated. So, what should I do? He thinks, he contemplates. So the result of that activity is, we are talking about karma kanda level only. The result of the activity is to do opposite things. And in that way, one can improve their conduct or behavior. The sins are creating problem. So one works in the opposite way, and in that way he improves his conduct. What kinds of activity does he do? We will stop doing sinful activities. We will stop giving trouble to others. And then what happens? Our good karma builds up. Therefore, as long as we do not understand that our mistakes or our activities are creating problems to us, we will not learn. And therefore, the corrective step is to understand and correct the mistakes. Okay. And then what happens? Because of this, one can live comfortably in this world. Living comfortably in this world is also important. Okay? So one may be able to live comfortably in this world. Now, if one is not able to change the karma, he will not get the desired results as he wants. For example, I want to live a healthy life, but I don't want to change my habits. I'm smoking, I'm drinking, but I want to be healthy. How can I be healthy? I have to change my habits. I have to change my dietetic restrictions. So in the same way, One has to change their activities. Then only there will be effect to the karma. Otherwise, karma will come. This birth, the next birth, it will become worse, more sufferings. So the first level, what we discussed so far is, one can minimize the sinful activities and expand the good activities so that your good karma builds up. We see this in the case of Chitraketu Maharaj. He's a very, very pious king. Yeah? Lot of good karma. He enjoys everything. He's a king. He's got everything he needed. There's no shortage. But did not have a child. He's suffering. And another typical example is King Nirga. He did a small mistake. Yeah? One cow wandered from one camp to another camp. He gave that same cow to another guy, to another Brahmana, and that created problem. A small mistake. For them, he was cursed to become a lizard. So, how do we know how to act in the material world? Yes, we cannot keep on counting the mistakes we do. Nor every time when we do something, we cannot be conscious. Oh, am I consciously doing this? Am I unconsciously or unconsciously doing that? We don't know. And therefore, this process is not very effective. What is this process? Karma kanda. Doing good activities only. Because again, it's not a perfect situation. We are faced with a lot of difficulties. And therefore, this process of karma kanda is not good at all. So what happens? One goes to the next level. What is that level? He reads the scriptures. Through the scriptures, one understands about karma kanda, karma, yoga, charitable work and all that. Yeah? So he goes to the next level, which is karma kanda or karma yoga level. So he understands, yes, the root cause of my problem is karma activities. And therefore, I want to approach the Supreme Lord and reduce all my karmas so that I will not have any more sufferings. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita 7.15 that 4 kinds of people come to him. Who are the 4 kinds of people come to him? One who is in distress, yes? That comes later. You should successively, sequentially say. One is in distress first, and then second one. One who is a seeker of wealth. Then third one who is inquisitive. And the fourth one is one who wants knowledge. Now what happens with the first 2 level? Like one who wants to get rid of his suffering, distress. And the second category, one who wants wealth. What will happen is, they'll come to Krishna. Once when the distress is over, and once their suffering is over in terms of money, job, they come to Krishna, they may get a job, they will get a job. And once it is over, they leave Krishna and go. Because the desire is fulfilled. And again they go and suffer. Again they come back. So that is not a good level. Yeah? Even that level is not good. Or sometimes they go to demigods also, higher authorities. But still, that will not work. So what is the next level they go? The next level is, they go to take up a spiritual life. That is beyond karma, karma yoga. Spiritual life. What is that? That is jnana yoga level. Now, in that, what happens is, one thinks that, yes, I want to get liberation from this material world. Yeah? Because liberation means I won't be born again. If I'm not born again, no suffering, no karma. Okay? So let me get liberation. But this jnana yoga is very, very difficult to practice. Very difficult to practice. It's really dry, so dry. For example, one has to detach himself from matter. Just imagine. You should not see good things. You should not eat good things. They think it's, it is a binding. So difficult, very, very dry philosophy. Unlike ours. Because, if you say, I should not see good objects, I should not do good things, I should not eat, then what will happen? We'll get frustrated. And therefore, that will also not work for most of the people. It's a very, very rare phenomenon, Karma Yoga. Then, what happens, the next level? The next level is, one will think, okay, I want to do an activity wherein there won't be suffering, there won't be karma, but I will get happiness. What is that activity? That is doing service for Krishna. But initially what happens is, one must take up the Varnashrama Dharma and offer the results. Because if one executes the duties properly as per the Varnashrama Dharma, then one is pleasing Lord Vishnu. So one may take up this, like taking up the Varnashrama system, Varna and Ashrama, and try to praise the Lord. But what is the problem? But the problem is, this activity is not directly pleasing the Lord, Krishna. It's not pleasing. It's an indirect service. So what is a direct service which Krishna is interested? Is chanting Krishna's name. For example, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Doing garlands for Krishna. And reading his Śrīmad Bhāgavatam scriptures. All this will give pleasure to Krishna. Now that is a direct activity and that gives lot of relief. One can do the activity, there's no karma. One can be happy, no suffering, by doing direct service to Krishna. And that is the very appropriate way to do in Kali Yuga. So if you look at this purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about Anya Abhilashita Sunyam. That any desire or any activity you do, you should do favorable to Krishna. What do you mean? Hey guys, what's going on? What do you mean by favorable? Yeah? Srila Prabhupada says favorable. What do you mean by that? Because many persons, right, they come to the temple. What they do? They put some milk and rice and all that. But there is an internal motive for coming to Krishna. They will say, oh, my family has to be good. I want a job for my son. My child should be, daughter should be married and all that. Now, that is a favorable situation. You want something from Krishna. So this is not favorable to Krishna. That is not going to give enjoyment to Krishna. That is only for us, selfish desire. Yeah? So Srila Prabhupada says there, what should be our intention of serving Krishna? Should be favorable to him. If we want to help others, they should be favorable. They should feel happiness. So that favorable situation is not there. So what we want or what we should do for Krishna consciousness is when we offer a garland, when we offer a fruit, or when we do a service, the intention has to please Krishna. That's very important. Now, Srila Prabhupada is again saying that because bhakti can be mixed, bhakti is there. What Srila Prabhupada talking, the Founder-Acharya here, is talking about pure bhakti. But what we are doing is mixed bhakti, because bhakti in the mode of goodness means I want liberation. Oh, I am suffering in this world. It's too much for me. I cannot take it anymore. I'm suffering. And therefore, I want liberation. Liberation means free from the cycle of birth and death. And once I am free from the cycle of birth and death, if I don't have a birth, I will not have a body, no suffering, so I'm okay. So that is bhakti in the mode of goodness. What is bhakti in the mode of passion? I've got lot of material desires. It has to be filled. So I come to Krishna. What is bhakti in the mode of ignorance? I got lot of enemies in my business. Krishna, you take care of him. See? This is bhakti in the mode of ignorance. But what we have to do, bhakti, transcendental bhakti, bhakti in the mode of pure goodness. So this bhakti process is so powerful that knowingly, unknowingly, accidentally if you do, it is so powerful. What is an incident or a story of someone who accidentally did chanting and are so powerful? Ajam. He accidentally, yes, Prabhu? Yes. Relevant examples, yeah? Accidentally, they come across Krishna consciousness, pick it up, and that should become a great devotee of Krishna. So today, to conclude, we are going to say a story. Yeah? Because too much of philosophy is no good. Yes? Too much of philosophy is good, but we cannot digest it. Yeah? Because we have to digest this, and we also have to digest the khichdi. Khichdi, yeah? Upstairs. So we cannot do too much. So we have to have a little bit of philosophy only. Okay? The story. This story I'm going to tell is from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 9th canto. Do you know what is the story? Can you guess? Okay, I'll give a hint about how a person, he was not a devotee initially, okay? He's a very pious person. But he was cursed by his activity. He did some wrong thing. In the material world, to error is common. To do mistakes is very, very common. Every day we do plenty of mistakes. So mistake is very, very common. He did a simple mistake, he did a mistake for which his guru got upset and cursed him. And then he did something to do. He did something to do. Because if I give more, then you will know. So that is what he did. So what is that? Anyone know that story? It's not a very commonly spoken story, but it's a very good one. In 9th canto. Just one more hint. He is a son of Vaivasavata Manu, 7th Manu. Our Manu basically. Manu had 10 sons and is one of the sons. Okay. His name is Pirsada. Pirsada, you can say. Okay. He is one of the son of Manu. Very, very powerful. You can imagine, okay? What happened is, he is a king, Kshatriya. Now his Guru Maharaj has asked him to take care of the cows in the shed. Do you know this? To take care of the cows in the shed. Okay? So his duty is to, apart from being a king, yeah, he has to go wherever there's Goshala and he has to take care of all the cows. He was doing that very nicely. Now it so happened, one day on a dark night, very dark night, new moon day, there was one, because the tigers are very sneaky, one tiger, because the cows, it's a food for the tiger. So tiger sneaked into the Goshala and is trying to attack one cow. He heard the noise. He came. As a Kshatriya and as an order given by his guru, he has to protect the cow because cow is very important for us. Sacred animal. No? He has to.
It will be called to the line. It will be called to the line.
can't understand, sorry.
Instead of killing the lion, he killed the cow.
Yeah, tiger. So what happened? Cow is very important. So what happened on a dark night? He knew that someone is attacking the cow. So what he did is, he took the sword and went, because they are all very good person with the skills, with the sword and all that, okay? What he did, he went and he was about to cut the tiger. But what happened? The knife cut the head of the cow, and also it cut the ear of the tiger. Tiger's ear was also cut. So the tiger got scared and ran away. It was bleeding and all that. He did not know. He thought, yes, in the night he did not know. It was very pitch dark. So he thought, yes, I protected the cow. Next day morning, when he went there and saw in the cow shed, he saw a cow was murdered. And he knew that immediately, oh, I have done a big mistake. I have killed a cow. I'm supposed to protect a cow, but I have killed it. So what should I do? Those days they will not run away. So he went to his guru. Who is the guru? His guru is Vashishta. The same guru for Lord Ramachandra also, Vashishta Muni. So Vashishta, he went, and after hearing that, Vashishta got so angry. How dare you are? I have asked you to take care of the cow. It's a mistake actually. It's a mistake. But the guru said, no, I'm not going to pardon you. So in the next birth, you're going to become a Sudra. He was a Kshatriya. So depromotion to 2 levels down. Okay, not Vaishya, Sudra. So what can he do? He took the curse because, see, remember one point. We talked about karma. Karma you cannot counteract in this birth. We have to be very, very careful. That is what we are taking this. We have to understand. Whatever karma we are facing, you cannot rectify in this birth. In the next birth, you can eliminate. Okay? So what he did is, he completely understood. This karma, I have caused some activity, and therefore it has come as a reaction to me, suffering. So what he did was, he said, okay, my guru has asked me, or my guru has cursed me to become a Sudra in the next birth. So this birth, I'm going to take up devotion service seriously. So what he did, he took up Krishna consciousness seriously, Bhakti Yoga, the process of pleasing Krishna. And that is the best process to eliminate all the karma, everything in this birth, so that next birth we will not have it and we can go to Krishna directly. So what he did, he took up Krishna consciousness seriously, and at the end of the lifetime, he went back to Krishna, and Vashishta was surprised. See, this is the achievement. Although Vasishtha Muni is so great and all that, liberation, going back to Krishna is not easy. One must follow the instructions given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. By taking up this life of Krishna consciousness, he finished his life. So, he need not have to become a Sudra. Yes? He went back to Krishna and he got a spiritual body. As long as in the material world, we got a soul which is spiritual, but the body is material, we have to suffer. One may think, oh, this birth I'm in Australia, okay, fine. What about next birth? We don't know. Because life is a journey, isn't it? It doesn't stop with one birth. If you do sinful activities, because in Australia, all the people, what do? They either eat meat or drink or gambling or illicit affairs. What do? Is it heavenly planet or is it Krishna? Are they doing, is it a Vaikuntha planet here? No. And if you do not follow Krishna conscious, obviously one has to do all this nonsense. You go outside, you have to eat meat. You go to the party, you have to drink. Isn't it? What are they doing? You go to a St. Kilda, you have to eat, drink something. What are they doing? So therefore, this is all sinful activities. Srila Prabhupada says it's a royal road to hell. If you want to go to hell very quickly, you can follow all this. So therefore, the process for us is following Krishna consciousness, hearing and chanting, the fundamental principles of Krishna consciousness. One must hear about Krishna. the topics of Krishna, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and one must chant Krishna's name in Kali Yuga, Harinama Sankirtan. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. If people think that, yes, we know something better, okay, good luck to you. This is how the process works. And therefore, we have got a lot of lives to live in. Next birth, next birth. So if we don't reduce our sins, we have to suffer. And in the material world, we are forced to do some mistakes. We are forced to do. Arjuna asked the same question in Bhagavad Gita. He's asking Krishna, what is that Krishna which is impelling me, which is forcing me to do something which I don't like it? Arjuna is asking that. What is that? I don't want to do something, but I'm forced to do something. Yeah. Krishna explains that. What is that Krishna explains? It's a lust. Lust means for my own enjoyment, selfish desires. And that will provoke you, and because of that you have different births. You do a lot of sinful activities. I want to do it. I want to do it. That lust, he says, it will burn like a fire. How do you stop it? The lust has to become love. You have to turn your lust towards love. That love for Krishna. Not for ordinary human being is good. But how long it will, in this birth, as it says, in this birth, they've got eternal, temporary father and mother. In the next birth, we'll have some other father and mother. Yeah? This is okay. We have to respect them. We are not saying. But it's a temporary relationship. The relationship is not permanent. So we have to seek a permanent relationship where we will not be disturbed. Yeah? Okay. So we will stop here and see if there is any questions or comments. Anyone has got? Wow. Yes? Mic, anything mic is there, Prabhu? No? Online, we are not able to hear the questions. I get only the answer. So I just
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. So my question is, we read in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 that we should do our karma without endeavoring for fruits and the results. Then sometimes, I wonder that how do we do that? How do we do our goal without, how do we do that without, how do we do our duties without having an end goal in mind?
without having,
An end goal in mind, how do we do our duties like that?
I didn't understand the last part. So how do you do your duty?
Without having a goal.
Without expecting the results.
Yeah.
Goal. You should have a goal, isn't it? How do you do? Without Krishna. You have to do it without a goal. Without a goal.
We have to do it.
Yeah, without expecting results, only Krishna says. See what happens. Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Arjuna was first, he was not willing to fight. Because he's saying, this is my family members are in front of me. My family relatives, gurus, everything. How can they kill them? Okay? So, but actually they are on the side of Adharma. And therefore Krishna has already made a plan to kill them. So when Arjuna is refusing to fight, so what Krishna wants to do is, I'm just saying that so that you understand. So what Krishna is saying is, you are a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means your job is to fight. You are a military man. You have to fight. You cannot renounce your job and go into the forest thinking that you are renounced. Because your desires are still not purified. Unless the desires are purified, we still want to enjoy the material world. So in that sense, Krishna says, you should fight and do your duty rather than going to the forest like that. So for that he says, you should do your activity not expecting for results. When we say you have to do detached activity means, without results means, not caring for victory or success. For example, in a mundane sense, if you want to apply for a job, okay, you go for the job. Don't expect, tomorrow I will get this job. Apply, do the job, go for the interview. You may get the job or you may not get the job. We don't know. Yeah? So like that, we should not be attached to the results in that sense. But I don't know what you mean by goal.
So like Arjuna didn't want to fight, but he had to because it's his duty. He's a Kshatriya. He didn't want to fight, seeing all his relatives. So Arjuna has to fight, but then because his duty is being a Kshatriya, but he doesn't want to fight, seeing all his relatives, and then like that. So how do we do?
Initially, how Arjuna is refusing to.
Yeah, how do we all if we have duty? One.
How we have to do your duty?
Yeah. Like what Arjuna had to fight, because he's a Kshatriya.
Cannot understand. So can you tell me what you mean by that?
Expect the end goal. So how do you do your duty at the same time don't expect what you want? Like if you want something but you do your duty and at the same time you don't want it.
You do your duty but at the same time don't expect the results. That is why lot of yoga pattern is there. One cannot go to that level like that. So initially you have to follow karma kanda. For example, you have to follow what is said in the Vedas. Okay? Because what happens is, it depends on the level of the consciousness. So Krishna has given a lot of levels. Okay? The first level is karma kanda level. What is the karma kanda? For example, the karma kanda, I have got desires. Okay? I've got desires. I want to build a house. I want to live with a family. I want to get a nice car and all that. But Krishna says, do that in the religious way. Follow the scriptures. Don't do cheating business and get the money and build it. Okay? Do it in a proper way. It's nothing wrong to have a desire. There are different levels of consciousness. One cannot just jump to Krishna consciousness, right? One cannot become a yogi overnight. So it's a different step. So what Krishna is saying is, first is karma kanda. Follow the Vedas, scriptures properly. And whatever the designed, destinated roles are there, follow that correctly. In that way, you will not incur sin. You will gradually grow up. You will go to the next level. And the next level is yoga process. Karma yoga, jnana yoga, astanga yoga, bhakti yoga, like that. In the karma yoga, what we do, we offer the results. For example, you are working. You are getting $5,000 per month. You give a small donation to Krishna. So you offer your results. Krishna is saying, don't work. Just come to me and sit down in the temple. That's not the instruction. There are certain people who are completely renounced. Okay? For them, the instruction is different. For us, in Kali Yuga, we have to work and we have to offer the results. The family is there. All of us can become a devotee. You can have a deity in the temple, in the house. You can worship. You can offer the food to Krishna. Like the karma yoga, connecting everything to Krishna gradually. Then is jnana yoga. By doing that, you get detachment. And then you get the knowledge. What is the knowledge? The knowledge is, I am not this body. I am spirit soul. I am beyond body. For that, you have to follow authority and you have to do little bit of detachment. You have to do this to get knowledge. Okay? What is that? You have to follow an authority. Either guru or scriptures or something. And two, you must have little bit of detachment, material detachment. As long as we are attached to material energy, material enjoyment, very difficult to progress. So Vedic life means moving from matter and getting attached to soul. Yeah? It's a very high phenomenon. But karma yoga. Then as you progress, you go to jnana yoga, where you lead a spiritual life. Because your senses are completely renounced. But still, as we discussed, it's a very dry phenomenon. And therefore, the next level is, you go to bhakti yoga, where we have got body, we have got senses. Very difficult to control the senses. Can Haigriva be active for 1 minute? No. In the eye we have to see something. In the ear we have to hear. In the mouth we have to talk. So we have got embodied, we have got senses. So therefore it has to be engaged. All the senses has to be engaged. How? You can come to the temple to see Krishna. You can talk about Krishna, eat prasadam like that. Now if the senses are engaged, then that is the best way to control.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So Prabhuji, I have a question. My question is that if Narad Muni and Angira Muni, they had to instruct King Chitraketu, why did they do it the hard way, like give him so much miserable, put him in a miserable position by giving him a child and then taking it away? Because he is a Mahajanan. Even if he would have instructed King Chitraketu, his instructions would still be potent. Why did they put him in a miserable condition?
See, when at that point, initially when Narada Muni and Angira Muni went to say Chitraketu Maharaj, he was attached to something. See, in the material world, there are two types of happiness. Okay? The first happiness is, if there is no suffering, you will be happy. For example, you are rich, you got a lot of heritage, you're getting a lot of money, we have got a good house, good car, okay? Everything you have got, no suffering. Suffering is what? Just very relative, like some body pain or something. Very less suffering. Yeah? If there is practically no suffering, then that is one happiness. The second happiness is, in the material world, you want something and you want to enjoy something. This is what Chitraketu Maharaj was going through. He was not happy because he wanted a son. Yeah? In the material world, he wanted something to enjoy, but he did not get it. And therefore, he was very morose and lamenting. Now, initially, when he was attached to that happiness, no one will listen. You go to a person who's smoking or who's drinking alcohol, you ask them, come to the temple, what will happen? He'll bash you, isn't it? It will not work. When someone is attached, very difficult. Say, for example, do you play games or something occasionally? Some games. When you're playing games, your mother is coming and saying, snatches the game and say, chant now 1 round of Hare Krishna mantra. Will you like it? Same thing. He was attached to getting a son. And at that time, they will ignore Narada Muni's spiritual instructions. And it is an offense. If you do not follow the instructions of a guru, it is an offense. And therefore, they will not listen to that. But when someone is going through some problem, it's very easy. They'll think, oh, I've done something bad. Let me come to Krishna. Then they can listen. If someone is very, attached, they will not listen. They think, oh, I've got everything I want. Why should I? That's the surrender attitude. The listening to authority will not come. So one has to go through the problem. And that is why one of the reasons in karma is, it is educating us. It's teaching us. There is a reason for putting karma in place by Krishna. It is educating us something. What does it educate? Change your lifestyle. Whatever you are doing, that is creating havoc to you. So therefore, you should change the way you act. Work in a better way. So as long as someone doesn't learn, it's going to be a problem. So now, because he saw a son, his son was given to him, and the son also died. So there was a lot of distress. At that time, he was willing to take the instructions from Narada Muni. And that is why now, he took it. He took this instruction, and he was worshipping Lord Shankarshan. He was able to do that. So spiritual masters, they know Yeah? Okay. Anything else? Clear? He's very clear. Okay. Any questions? Are you coming for the first time?
We're actually not from Melbourne. We came from
Tasmania.
Tasmania.
Very good. Very nice you have come here. Wonderful. How long you are going to stay here? Evening, okay. Good. Okay. Because it's coming Friday's Janmashtami for all of you. We have Janmashtami festival, Krishna's birthday. So you can ask whatever you want. No, why not? Krishna will fulfill. See, some people come to Krishna to eliminate the karma. Krishna does it. He's not saying, no, I will not do that. But that is not the way. You go to a millionaire and you ask him, I want $10. It's like that. Krishna is going to stop your cycle of birth and death. Yeah? He says, come and live with me. Do not go for next birth. But we are saying, no, I want next birth. Next birth, I want to be in America. Krishna says, come and live with me. Live in my kingdom. That's what Lord is saying. So Krishna's birthday. So you can ask whatever you want. You can celebrate anywhere, everywhere throughout the world we have this Krishna Janmashtami. Okay, so we'll stop here. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Who is your father?